Here is my 36-week belly. Leggings, which is like the only thing I want to wear. It's me from the front, me from the other side. Okay. Hey YouTube, Anna here, and Cecilia. She's off camera, but she will probably make an appearance at some point. I am 36 weeks today, which is totally insane. And I had a really busy, big week. My husband was out of town last week for a few days. Okay. Yes, are you all done with that? Okay. And like we dropped off my husband at the airport. There you go. And Cecilia was doing great. And then the night that he was gone for the first night, he usually puts her to bed. Like I help with bath and bedtime routine, and then he puts her to bed. And so when we got to that point in the night, she was bawling her eyes out, just crying hysterically. And then I felt terrible because he had invited us to go on this trip with him, and I said no, it's way too close to my due date. And so I was like feeling really guilty, and then of course like hormonal and crazy pregnant, so I just started crying. Not my finest parenting moment, but I was just crying. I'm sorry. And then as soon as I start crying, good job Cece, she's like, Mama, stop. And so, you know, it's adorable, and I'm like, I'm trying to stop, but of course like crazy hormones are going nuts, so couldn't do that. I felt a ton of movement while my husband was away, just violent movement everywhere, tons of Braxton Hicks, feeling like he's pushing on my pelvis. And like also just like heaviness, like down there, like feeling pretty, I don't know, ready, I guess. We have a wood paneled room downstairs. Well, not anymore because we primed it. It's ready to be painted. My husband right now, as we speak, is doing the trim in that room. We missed the eclipse. So I live in New Mexico, so we weren't gonna have like we weren't in the path of totality, but I was shopping for stretchy pants. so I missed it. But all my family in Oregon, they got to see it. And then that brings us to yesterday. So yesterday was absolutely insane. Cecilia woke up at like 5:30, which is early for her, and my husband picked her up and brought her into our room, which like we don't really co-sleep at all, but if it's super early in the morning, I would say between 4 and 6:30 when we normally wake up, we'll bring her into our room to cuddle for those last few hours and sort of doze. And it doesn't happen a lot. So he brought her in, and I rolled over to like cuddle with Cecilia, who was in the middle, and I didn't put a pillow underneath my belly, and so I like woke up at like 6:30 and I was in pain. Like my back was hurting really bad, and it just progressively got worse and worse. So I was like trying to move around, and I went downstairs and I'm like, I'm not feeling good. I couldn't like sit at the table with my normal posture. I was like, oh, I'm in pain, this is terrible. I went upstairs, took a shower, and I felt some relief. So I stayed in the shower for as long as Cecilia would let me. So it was about 25-30 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I have to get out because Cece's getting super fussy. And then I felt good for about 10 minutes afterwards, and I got some laundry started and like gathered and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling better, this is good. And then the second that the like warmth of the shower wore off on me, I was in agony, and it was like tenfold. So it hurt from my mid back all the way to my butt, and it was constant cramping. it almost, sometimes it would feel like a dull ache, like when I was in the shower. It felt like a dull ache. Oh, are you okay? Is there Boo? Oh, we can watch Boo later. Yeah? Yes. So it almost felt like I had drank nothing but like sugary soda and my kidneys were like drying up on me. It hurt, but it was just like a dull ache. When I was in my extreme pain, I couldn't like move at all. And I started to feel nauseous, and I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. I kind of feel like this is back labor, like I'm going into labor, and it's just, there's no relief. My husband brought up a heating pad to the top of the stairs, and he's like telling Cecilia to come get it. And that's when I told him, like, I can't get up out of the chair to plug it in or to set it up at all. And so he realized, like, okay, I need to come up and like actually help you. So he did. He got up. Luckily he works from home. Oh, I'm so, do you want some water? There you go. So he got everything ready, and I had to like grip the sides of the chair that's over there, not the wood one, but the blue one, and like pull with all my arm strength to get myself forward enough for him to put the heating pad behind my back. Then like I felt like I was maybe in labor, so I immediately just started crying really hard because like nothing is done downstairs, and I got super stressed. I was like, we live in a construction zone house, like we don't have floors in most of the downstairs, like, oh my gosh. I just felt so overwhelmed, and like nothing was in my control, of course, because that's what happens in labor. And yeah, it got to me. So the stress got to me, and I just started bawling my eyes out. And I was texting my in-laws, and I texted my doula, who gave me like exercises to do. I'm sitting on a yoga ball right now, like moving my hips around. I felt, so at like 10 a.m. so I was texting my friend, like, what does back labor feel like? Tell me everything. And she was like, terrible. For me, it was constant. And I was like, oh, that's exactly how I'm feeling.
Mama.
Yes, Cece.
No.
Oh, I can't move right now. And she's like, you know, I'm sorry if you're feeling that way. And then she was like, do you want to meet me for lunch? And I was like, haha, I can't move. Like, I can't get up. And then at around 10 a.m. I said, Doug, give me some Tylenol. Is that Mr. Bear?
Baby.
Your baby bear? How nice. And like, if you know me, I don't take medicine like at all. Of course I take like my vitamins, my prenatal, my levothyroxine, you know, stuff to like keep me healthy and the baby healthy, but I really don't take pain medicine ever. And so I took 2 Tylenol at 10, and I was like, this is a big deal. I'm taking Tylenol. And then around 10:30 it started sort of kicking in, and I felt like I could walk and I could move, and the pain was there, but it wasn't like, it was the dull ache that I could deal with. So I spent like about 6 hours with relatively no pain, and then once the medicine wore off, the pain was through the roof. Is that your dinosaur? Cool. Do you want to show YouTube? Do you want to show YouTube your dinosaur? Show the camera. No, she doesn't want to. So yeah, doula was helping me out. We called the midwife, and they were like, sorry, we are double booked in the clinic today. So it's like you have to go to labor and delivery. So if you want to go down to the hospital, they'll check you out. But if Tylenol and a heating pad doesn't work, you need to come in. And luckily the Tylenol helped. So I was like, yes. And Cece's like overnight bags were all packed. Mine were not, but we were getting them together. And yeah, so I started doing like pelvic tilts against the wall.
Mommy,
oh, here you go. Yeah. And I started rocking. Oh, when I was still in like tremendous amount of pain. Here, can you take this over there? I had like 5 seconds of a break. And I quickly got on my hands and knees and put my arms in the blue chair. Sorry, my daughter's getting all of her toys out now. And started doing like pelvic rocks and like swiveling my hips in a figure 8. And that seemed to be helping a lot, and like breathing through whatever pain I was experiencing. Whew, it was intense. So yeah, I think that was back labor. I also, this is totally TMI, but had loose stools. So I felt like, yeah, it's labor. Like, I've never known anybody to be in labor and have like totally normal, solid stools. So, yeah, I felt like for sure I was going to have a baby yesterday. After the second round of Tylenol, I went out to dinner. I was still feeling a little uncomfortable, but we got the yoga ball all like blown up, and I was doing exercises and all of that stuff. By the time like 10 p.m. rolled around, I felt pretty good. I felt pretty normal. So the contractions, while I was on Tylenol, I could sort of feel contractions more. When I was not on any sort of pain medicine, I only felt back pain, no contractions. I couldn't even feel movement. I would have to look at my belly to see that he was moving. It was so intense. So yeah, once I had Tylenol in my system, I could actually feel contractions, and they were about 14 minutes apart, but not very consistently. Like, there might have been an hour where they were, 14 minutes apart, and then I wouldn't have any for another hour or so. My doula texted me, "Is there any chance that you're off on the due date?" And I mean, my husband and I were laughing because like we did fertility treatment, and he's from IUI and Clomid and monitoring, and so we were like, no. there's no surprise pregnancy in this household. It's like, we need to get pregnant, we're on all this medicine, we get monitored, we get an IUI, and eventually things happen. So yeah, it was a stressful day yesterday, but I'm fine today. I feel great. I popped out of bed feeling awesome. I have been going to the bathroom a lot, so I'm kind of feeling like maybe I have a UTI again. I don't like hurt or anything, but it's just like frequent, like crazy frequent. Yeah. So that is my update for week 36. That's really week 35. But I will insert pictures here. And those were from this morning. We took a bunch of Harry Potter pictures. We've tried to take them every week. When we were moving, we kind of got lazy with that and we didn't do it. So my husband now wants to take daily pictures because now we're counting the days until he's here, and to see like if my belly drops. I kind of feel like my belly has dropped already a little bit, but we'll see. I don't know. Only time will tell. Okay guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next weekend. Bye.